Yeah, it's like all this satanic stuff, and then we see it, right? It's had all the music awards, but all this weird satanic stuff, and people saying they've sold their souls and doing all this weird stuff. And I saw this video, and the guy was saying, why do you think that is? And it's like because it still pushes a religious narrative, right? Because it makes you think there's a devil, and if there's a devil, well, there has to be a god, right? Unless
Definitely.
you're thinking so. Like, is any of this uncensored? Like, because we know who owns Google, we know who owns all the internet, all the media. All I, do you think there is like a good team who are somehow letting stuff get out?
Yeah,
I
us.
think there is, but it's like it's layer one. It's like so they're exposing that shit, but they're controlled by this fucking Yahweh God anyway. So, like when you get into
AI,
that
the
level,
AI.
They're
yeah,
also
and that,
shifting people away from learning about the occult because she has said quite a few times that the occult is dark, but the occult is just what is hidden. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hidden knowledge, and it's knowledge that actually sets us free and allows us to understand who we are, and how this universe works. It's just that occult means hidden. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean satanic. And so I have heard her speak about that in that light, which makes me go, well, that's really interesting because actually this knowledge is what sets people free and allows us to actually live without any, authoritarian leadership or government or putting our power outside of ourselves. And we actually understand how the universe functions. What is reality? What is this reality? So she's shepherding people away from looking at that truth to religion and
Isn't
and
she
But,
that.
but
Christian? She's
She's
Christian, right? And
Catholic
she's
mate.
married to a
They're
Jewish
pushing him.
man.
They're
Yeah,
pushing
She's
him.
saying no
is he
fucking
Jewish?
more.
Is he Jewish? Say
He's
no more.
Abrahamic.
Oh my goodness, is he
No,
Did you
Jewish?
but
get
you know
him?
what?
The whole
They're
invasion.
pushing him. They're pushing him towards Catholicism. They don't even want Christianity. They
Doesn't
want
even matter.
Catholicism.
It's all Abrahamic. And it all comes from the same technology, the same source, the same intention. Like
Mm.
it's just the same. To me, I've simplified this all in my head now because I've decided that we're not in a simulation. And that is a fucking way to take earthlings out of their grounding to the earth.
Yeah.
And I think it's bullshit. I fully call out David Icke in the show about this,
That's
Dale.
right.
You'll be fascinating. I'm like, we're just fucking
Louder.
done with the simulation, right? And like, so for me, it's now very simple. It's like, well, there's the simulation, but I don't even want to use that word anymore. I'm going to use system. There's the system run by artificial intelligence since before Abrahamic religions. And that system is that part of a reality. And then there's the organic world, the natural world. And the natural world is relational. It's relationship orientated. Whereas the system is binary. It's binary code. And it started with the Phoenicians, but the earth language is relational. And so there's two realms right now. And so anything that's coming out of the system to me is the system. So even if the information's good, you're still this, it's the system talking, because all the things have to line up for that person to be talking. They have to, all the algorithms have to, like everyone behind everything is pushing Candace Owens because it's part of the system, but then like true information has to come from the natural world, the relational world, which is shows like this, which are in relationship with each other as we sit here and talk and chat and smoke with no plan. Like AI couldn't replicate this moment in time with the four of us, right? It couldn't make it up. It couldn't imagine it beforehand. It couldn't create it, and no one would believe it. If anyone tried to re-AI the four of us, anyone who knows the four of us would know that it's not us because you can't feel it. It wouldn't be relational. And so to me, it's like there's a system and then there's a relational. And so where are we going to be, earthlings of earth? Where are you going to ground your fucking power source? Because you can get it from the charge that's artificial, or you can get it from the charge that's real, that gives you life. And like nothing out of that system gives life. It's actually anti-life. It's antimatter. It's anti-life, anti-light. It's artificial. It's electrical. Anything
Extractive L.
electrical is extractive.
They're the
Exactly.
L, right? The L-ites. That's what they are. The people of L. Electricity, L
Electricity.
actions.
Yeah.
Right?
So
It's all
do you
L.
think? Do you think part of the takeover of the human being is in our biology where our blood is salt as well too? Was that our natural form?
Unknown. That's an edge.
We haven't done biology yet.
It's like an edge, Dale. There's so many edges to all
Cal,
this.
do you know what? What you said, I fucking 100% believe what you say. I use the word simulation, but we've been pulling away a lot from this too, Mads, and especially
No,
with
I've never been involved in your simulation, actually.
But all simulation to me is structured blueprints that are immovable. That's all it is, right? It's not the literal sense.
It's not we're in a video game.
Yeah, like, and
A virtual reality.
I've always said George Cavassos has got it closest, and it's basically exactly what Kelly said, and that's exactly what he said. Relationship with the earth is everything.
Mm.
But and he always brings up the point too within the spiritual world they use all this computer language. Like, I just got a download. I just got plugged in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All this kind of terminology.
Mm.
So I think it's good. You have to simplify it, and you're dead right.
Mm.
And then the rest is just what. The rest is what. Do you know what I mean? It's
and we know they invert
the rest
everything,
is taking
right?
your focus. That's what the rest is. Just focus. Give us, because
Yeah,
that's
but
the whole
I want
intention of
one foot in,
AI.
one foot out too. I want a bit of dipping. I want to dip between.
Dip your toe in both sides.
You're going to be brilliant, Dal. You are going to be brilliant when you're not on the internet anymore. Your natural genius energy, your brilliance, your natural way of thinking will be triggered so much more. Like, I'm absolutely sure of this. It makes the biggest difference to be brilliant offline. So when you come online, you're not influenced by the system at all. You're influenced by, the language of nature and all of the relationships you're having in that space. That's where true wisdom is, like the true and the power of the earth. Oh my God, that's the end of the show, because man, people don't even realize the technology of the earth is so surpassed AI. Like, there's so much more that we don't know yet about the magic and power of our earth as earthlings. And in order to get to that point, we've got to slowly inch our way off the internet, slowly inch our way off being online and taking their information. We've got to start as a truth community. We've got to start to replace it now, because we're moving into our custodianship. So we've got to start forming that eldership relationship with our power source, the earth. This is why David Icke is so wrong, because he stands there and talks about the simulation, and yet something's charging him. He has life. Where does that power come from? It's not coming from a replicated virtual realm. And he never talks about that. He never addresses nature in anything he ever says. Does he ever talk about the earth?
Do you know what? That was the bit I hated within his last book, because he was talking. He actually used the term, and he was describing everything in nature as artificial, including like the birds and I couldn't.
This is a problem with simulation. If we're in a simulation, it is all artificial, but everything they give us is inverted, right? So the simulation is coming. It hasn't been here forever. It's coming. It's the internet. It's AI. It's virtual reality. It's the 2D world, right? The screen. It's not, and then we got to get back to the 3D world, because we all know that if you're locked up in an office for a week and staring at a screen and you feel shit, if you go and walk in the bush for a couple of hours, you suddenly feel awesome again, right? Because that's the power source. That's the natural power, where the L is the false light, right? The jinn, right? The smokeless fire.
Yeah, you're dead right. Fuck, we all know this, and fuck, I needed to hear this tonight too. Shit.
So you should get off social media too.
Oh yeah, Mads did a little boycott. She did an Irish goodbye.
Fun. That sounds fun. I could have done
an Irish goodbye. How do you do that? T-diddly-dee, off I go now.
I was like, because when I communicate with her, it's usually via Instagram, and it's usually voicemails. Now and then she just up and leaves. And now she's like, other people send me voicemails on text, and I don't know how to do it, and I feel rude when I text.
Have I sent you one? Oh yeah, I have.
Yes, you're dead right.
And there's just too many.
I've started drawing again, and I've started doing all of these things. Usually be connecting, which I do miss, like connecting with people, but then at the same time I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe it'll make people miss me and then they'll come visit me, So, you know what I'm saying? And which
actually get to meet them.
I've actually had more visitors, which it has happened. But I was going to say before as well, maybe the simulation is really just not right relationship with the earth, like it's like how you connect with the earth. It's based off what you've been programmed to think about the earth and to feel about the earth, and how you relate to the weather and how everything reflects you. And then that's the simulation. And then you get out of that, it's right relationship with the earth. And it's real. know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
that's the other big problem with simulation theory. I mean, how many people have you heard say, I'm never coming back again? I just want to get out. Where's the way out?
Or
Yeah.
someone said that
Basically,
to me the
fuck
other
the
day.
earth, right? We don't care because it's not real. That's what the simulation theory teaches you.
Yeah, that's the biggest trap, I think, Campbell. That's the actual lure of it. That's
Mm.
I agree. But you know, like you think of how fucked up this is to the being that is the earth that made this incarnation to birth a whole humanity, right? That's its fucking purpose. And then we turn around and say it's artificial
Mm.
and it doesn't really exist. Even the word matrix means womb anyway. So
Yeah, I know, right?
it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
tells you what it
Creation,
is.
basically. Yeah.
But isn't it a marvelous thing that on the cusp of this lifetime, that we've all chosen to be here in Australia, conscious of what's going on? It's a marvelous thing that on the cusp of this, for our community, the system is falling apart. We have no faith in it, no interest in it. It's basically turning to dust in front of our eyes. That's why we're so bored looking at it now. Like it's dust. It's turning to dust. But what it takes for a new kingdom to build, or a new culture, or a new creed, what it takes by all these, weirdo alternative people that are on the fringe of that old system is for us to really reground ourselves in belonging somewhere. Like that's what it takes. We have to be so removed from belonging to something because we can't belong to any of that. So from the beginning of our lives, we never really belonged to any of that. And even as kids, we had heaps of examples of how we didn't belong to that. We were always the ones that are a little bit different from all the other kids. And like that has followed us through to the point where everyone is like, oh my God, I don't even want to be here. I'm not even from here. I'm galactic, I'm palladium, whatever, whatever. I'm never coming back here. What did I do? All this stuff that we are so indicative now of an end result of not belonging to anything, that for us to build and create the new legacy that will hold this realm strong for the next 1,000 years, like we have to get back to our belonging to it. And that is
Mm.
powerful. And it's so extreme right now. Like it's so extreme, the lack of belonging, that by finally belonging again, that charge from the earth will supercharge those who
Mm.
now move back into belonging to it and refer to themselves as a fucking earthling. Like
Yeah.
to really take that on board, feel the goosebumps of that, the goosies, and really get that into your heart. You're an earthling. The power of you comes through the earth. If you want to now open yourself up to the new charge of the new era, of the new age, you have to be on the earth and you have to claim it and know it and understand that's where your legacy is going to ground yourself. And that is where you're going to turn into your eldership. That's your custodianship. That's your legacy. And my God, I'm telling you, without even knowing half of it right, not even a tiny smidgen of it right now, the power of the earth, the technology in the earth, and the magic of the earth far surpasses anything this system or artificial intelligence can offer us by a magnitude it's not even comparable. But we don't know that yet because none of us has claimed our origin from it. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
perfect juxtaposition right now.
It's the longing to be, right? That's belonging, longing to be. And that's what we all want.
But do you think this is like it was all purposeful, the path of like absolute separation through this fucking technology to bring us back to that simple answer that we already knew anyway? Do you know what I mean? That's like you can see
100%.
its purpose. So like it's served its purpose.
Well, for us, it has, for sure. 100%. Remember that the law, what Captain Cook arrived on this plane here in Australia, with soldiers to fucking take the law, to remove the law, which, to this day, we still question, and was that a physical object? Because there's so many physical objects, like the exact comparative object to the law would be the Ark of the Covenant, which is the law of this invader. So we've got like, is the law an object? Did they do war for it? Did our Indigenous elders give it to them and reject technology? They literally said that when we were
That's what,
talking
yeah,
to the
yeah.
Strongs,
Mm.
that they chose to reject technology. This was back in 200 and something years ago. And so I reckon that like that process of removing that object like generated what we've been living and experiencing right now. And it's going to shift. But like, why would it shift if the people of the world don't even declare themselves to be of the world, of the earth?
But yeah, but
Don't even give
we
allegiance
have
and
to
reverence to it.
because it's like it's symbiotic. So the earth ain't gonna. It's like us and it has to be conjoined. Has to be.
Mm.
We gotta
Yeah,
get
well,
better.
yeah, we're under a parasite at the moment, right? So yeah, we got to get back to symbiosis, right? It's got to be a give and take rather than just a take. But
I
that's
mean,
what it's doing is it's totally disconnected us so quickly too, right? From nature. I mean, think of, well, I don't know if you're on the 80s, but out on your BMX, cruising around down the creek and all that, it just doesn't happen anymore. And it's not just the technology, it's most parents are too scared, right? They think if they let their kids out that the neighbors are going to come and abduct them, right? Because they've put in this idea to us that we're the ones that we need to be scared of. It's your neighbors. It's humans that go and start all the wars. It's men and women. It's not. The ones you got to be scared of are the allies, and they're the ones that start all the wars and do all the crash economies and all this stuff. So it's not your neighbors. So we've lost our trust in our fellow man.
mm-hmm. So true.
Oh, we
We
got the
truly have.
answers. We got the answers. I fucking
Even like COVID got everyone back out, like going to parks and all of this kind of stuff. And did
Under
you see all this
controlled circumstances.
under controlled circumstances? And people, like if they were, they, couldn't go overseas, so they were in their country more. And then there were all these things coming out. I don't know whether you guys saw it. It was like all these fish that hadn't been in rivers for X amount of time started
yep.
coming back. And obviously the climate change, people got, they were talking about it was because of the planes and all of that. But actually, from a tribal perspective, that would be because you were back on the earth. We're back on the earth, communing with the earth. And when we're back on the earth comes to life, because we belong in it. We're part of the ecosystem. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, well, everyone's like now going to stay at home more possibly, and there could be these restrictions with fuel. And I was like, there's always that duality of, there's a controlled plan and design, but then also is the earth beckoning us home again. And then are people going to be looking at where they're living and going, oh, like I can't even connect with my home here. Like I'm living in a box, because everyone escapes their life all the time, whether it's
Mhm.
work or holidays, and they don't even actually love where they live. They don't love the land. They don't even know where they live. They don't know the land they're living on.
Mm.
And is this the next stage of that
Mm.
connection, relationship to the earth? And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, that, there seems to be this ongoing coming home journey, which is this connection to the earth. And the first one was kind of like, oh, I actually like this country. I like, traveling. I like, people started, going around in their vans. And, I always preferred traveling in Australia over overseas. I've just loved it.
Mhm.
Like my whole life. I went around country balls that was my whole 20s. Random small towns, love it. But all these people, oh my God, Australia's amazing. And so now it's like this big cultural shift, with travel. And then is this next stage, that next, step of that connection to the earth potentially.
Mm.
And does all the seals have some kind of connection to home and coming home? There's obviously too, I'm not saying like the earth created the fuel shortages. I'm just saying like that,
No,
the
that
two
was the
things
system.
playing out, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it's calling the souls back, right? Like
yeah.
the sole of your feet. It wants us to walk on it. That's the souls, right? Everyone's talking about finding their soul tribe. Well, take your shoes off and go walk on the earth because
Yeah,
that's,
go walk to them.
yeah, because when you think about shoes, they've introduced shoes. Obviously, now they're all synthetic, right? And they're like, it's so we can't connect with the earth energy. But, that's only, it's electricity, right? That's how they brought it in so that the electricity didn't kill you when you took that into your body and you were standing on the earth. So they put this synthetic layer in. So it's literally a disconnection from the earth energy into the electricity, the smokeless fire. It's a big disconnection they've done there. And all these stories and all this stuff, it's the system. If we were all living out on a block of land, self-sufficient and just living our lives, all of this crap that we pay attention to wouldn't mean anything. There would be if there was no system, there'd be no structure big enough to create world wars and to create economies that they can control and to stop oil and to stop all this stuff. It's all the system. It's all the simulation. That's what the
I think,
simulation
Campbell,
is.
I think you're talking about the new age that you plan to create. And in order to do that, the most important thing is to actually dream it into existence. Like you need to have a vision. You need to have a vision greater than anything you've ever seen. You need to bring all the information and all the wisdom and all the knowledge that you've accumulated this lifetime and start seeing a vision in your head. You need to start like lying in bed at night and
True.
dreaming it up, designing it, creating the next step. I mean, what are you going to do for the next 50 years? You have to start having the vision. Everyone in the truth community needs to make that choice now. It's not about getting the jab anymore. It's about, you know, what am I putting my attention on, and what's my vision and purpose for the next 50 years? You know, we need to start exercising that creative, imaginative ideal again, because without it, it is the nothingness in the never-ending story. And
Well,
the
it is.
nothingness replaces the dreams.
Ask people their goals, and it's all system goals. I want more money. I want a bigger house. That's all systems crap, right?
Well,
Like,
if
it's
you're part of
very
the
rare to
system.
find someone who you ask them what are your dreams and goals, and they talk about, you know, creativity and the earth and doing something completely that has nothing to do with the system. We're so trained that, you know, success and living well, it's the system. You need more money. You need this, but you don't. Everyone's tried that, and look where it's got us.
John Lennon quote. It's like that one, right?
The John Lennon, that we're run by
Peter
insane
asked
people.
No, he said, what do you want to be when you get
Oh,
older?
yeah.
That one. But yeah, you're right. It's like, fucking hell. I'm just sitting here shaking my head because, like, all these things, it's like, I'm like selling the system at the moment. Like, literally, I'm in it, fully in it. But my takeaway, and this is why I love speaking to you guys, you're fucking on the money. It's like, it's getting back to the earth. And also, I've been thinking so much about like actually manifesting on like what I want, right? Too. And like, what do we want?
Because that's
takeaways for everyone.
That's your eldership, Dale. Each one of us and everyone listening to this has to decide on their purpose and vision. You have to decide. You've got to do some work around that. You've got to get clear on that. And the easiest way to do that is to start to go back to your childhood and see where your wounds are. It can take, like, this is not big shadow work anymore. This can be done in a few minutes. And then understand where your purpose has come from. For me personally, it was because I didn't belong. That was my wound as a child. And I tell this story now all the time, but you know, this is a classic metaphoric story from my life, which it reiterated that I didn't belong here. This wasn't like, I was always in year one. I've told you the story, Dale. In year one, we had book week, right? We had to dress up as your favorite character. And I turned up, and every single girl in my whole year was Little Red Riding Hood, and I turned up as Darth Vader. So I'm right there, and I was like, what, 5, 6, right there. I got a big hit, full sensory hit of like, oh my God, I don't belong here. Oh my God,
and
I'm
then
so
all you were
different.
trying to do is like express yourself. That's what you liked. You probably liked Darth Vader.
I did. I really liked Star Wars. Dad and I would go to the drive-in. I was in. I love Star Wars, right? So, but like the point is that I got so many examples in my childhood of moments where I had a full hit that I don't belong. I'm on the outside. I don't belong to this, and it just reiterated several stories like this. From that, I understand my purpose is to belong, which means I'm very big at creating community that have the same wound, that we don't belong. So we have to create belonging. We have to build it. We have to build the place where we belong, because we need to die somewhere we belong, because that's proper way. We need to find where we belong on this continent of Australia, in this earth, so that we can pass proper way, which is to die where you belong. And so for me, it's a very easy like step through understanding my vision and purpose. And so, and each one of us has pretty much a similar vision and purpose. Like we all kind of have a similar story around that topic, for one. But then there's unique ones that we all hold, very unique ones. So, you know, find that. It's not very long anymore. We've done all that shadow work. You'll be able to click into it quick, and then like understand your purpose of vision, and then do it and lead through creativity. You know, Campbell and I put so much time into physically making things and doing things. The physical newspaper, it's so expensive to operate in the physical world. It's expensive to do it physically. It's expensive to do it through the post office. It's expensive, you know. We're going to make a vinyl record or a CD in the physical and hire this recording studio, you know, not in the digital. We do the live shows in the physical and the gatherings and the camps, because the physical to me is me moving towards where I belong. So that is my advice for everyone who's listening to this, because we're all in the same boat. You've all been listening, watching, researching, digesting information. And now you've got to ask, where am I going to get the wisdom of my eldership, where I'm going to grow in the next 50 years to be a sublime human being, to be a sublime speaker, sublime wisdom, sublime, where I can touch people's hearts with words and ideas, where I can like bring them to the highest level of their, emotional landscape of light. Where am I going to get that? How am I going to grow to be that? And I can tell you hands down, whatever your thing is, it is by getting out of that system and taking your attention off it and your energy out of it and just use it as a tool. I mean, I work full time and I use it as a tool all the time. But man, my allegiance is definitely not to it. And like, fuck it. I do not take information out of it anymore. It's not where my eldership is going to go. My eldership is going to speak like a giant tree of ancient times. My voice will change. All of this is going to shift in the next 50 years for me personally. And every one of us has the same process. They now are called on to begin, to start, to trigger, to focus on, to bring that energy to, because man, this world, it's going to dissolve in the most boringest way. All that's going to happen to us is that we're going to get taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed, and we're going to have less and less and less and less money. Yes, we'll probably have less freedoms than anyone else in the world here in Australia and New Zealand. And we're just going to be in that sort of like real shitty financial situation in whatever capacity our lives look. We're all going to have that experience. So like, okay, that's what we're dealing with. That's cool. But like that whole system that's provoking all of that, it's like really boring now to watch. Don't you reckon? It's just so like the ocean topic surprised me, and it's come out of us and it surprised me. And I'm really excited that we have given it, because now we can do a live show on the topic. But man, there's not much more out there that I'm interested in, I tell you.
But that's like, it's the next aha moment is going to come after, like, you will explore this to all lengths, and then you're probably going to be inspired by your own creativity and nature again, and we're going to go on the next fucking round. So like, I think I just concur everything you said. I could not put that into words, but it's like, fuck, that was good. I 100% agree. I can't say anything else.
Fuck yeah. And we've all got such a magical ingredient. Like none of us is the same, unlike the system where they like to money culture us, turn us into a whole big room of carrots with no diversity at all. Like actually we're super
Whole bunch
unique.
of Yorkshire puddings that all taste the same. They're all
Don't bring Yorkshire puddings into this.
Yeah, I
though.
wouldn't do
That's
that.
a sacred fucking object. Stick with the
It's a
carrots.
sacred food, man. Jeez.
To the carrot.